Well, hello, everybody.
Hey guys, how we doing today? Looking forward to having a great conversation.
Now, last week I was in Hawaii. I was on that wall, so you don't have to be. Kent was in Vegas.
Yeah.
Both of us learning some stuff to bring back to the world.
Yeah.
What I'm going to be going over today is kind of some housekeeping items, the things that I'm seeing a lot of agents having issues with and questions about. One of those is understanding NAR's code of ethics. So, Texas used to be special. And what I mean by that is every 2 years we had to renew our license, and you had to take legal update and ethics. Now, because it said legal update and ethics, it counted for NAR ethics update every year, which was fantastic. It was great. It was easy, clean. It was done. Well, they changed the name to Legal Update 1, Legal Update 2, still teach ethics, but because we no longer call it ethics, it no longer qualifies. So everyone is required to go to the National Association of Realtors and renew their ethics training every 3 years. That's what makes us realtors. That's what makes us special. Now, the problem is one of those, it's on a 3-year cycle timeline. So, and that one of those 3-year cycle timelines is ending. There's a lot of people who don't understand where they need to go. So I'm just real quick going to show you guys. If you go to the Texas Association of Realtors website and just type it at the top, Code of Ethics, it'll come right here to, can you see my screen?
Yeah. No, I can't.
No, see how we are?
There you go. Now I can.
So if you just go to the search bar and type in Code of Ethics, it'll come right to this Code of Ethics training. And it says your realtor membership will be suspended if you don't satisfy NAR's Code of Ethics training by December 31st. So you just go check your status. It'll take you to the National Association of Realtors website. Now, the nice thing is I've already gone in there and done it. It'll go to this. It'll show you the future timelines and things of where you need to be. So you can go check Code of Ethics status for NAR for 19 to 21. It'll probably it's going to take me right there. I've already logged in. It will tell you to log in. Now, like you see, I did my job, so I can talk to you guys and explain it to you. To log in, if you've never logged into the National Association of Realtors website before, you have to have your member NERDS number. That is the 9-digit number that you get as a realtor. Now, if you don't know where to get that, you can always find that on your Realtor magazine. So if you go to your Realtor magazine, included in your magazine is your actual NERDS number. So that is one way that NAR website, NAR magazine, that you can get it as well. Some of you got a trusty little card that has it on there. Everyone has it because you need to go to get it. Now, if you need to find your NERDS number again, you just go back to the Texas Realtors website, search, and looking and that didn't do me any good. So not everything's perfect, but you can actually call your board. They can give you your NERDS number. You can do a lot of things. If you need help getting it, let me know. But get in there and make sure, because I don't want anyone to no longer be a realtor because they didn't fill this out. So please go on
there too, is you can Google NERDS number, and it'll pop up a site where you can go in and type in your name and your information, and it will give you your number there.
Yeah. So just guys, this is just one of those things. It's a house cleaning issue, but I know some of my agents have to do it by the end of this year. I don't want anyone in that spot and in that situation. So,
man, there's nothing worse than an agent coming to you and go, "Hey, I don't have my license, but I closed this house." It's like, "Yeah, sorry, I can't pay you."
Now, remember, the NERDS number is not a license. It's membership in the Association of Realtors.
Right.
So you can still get paid, but it's a pain in the butt. You will lose access to MLS. You'll lose access to a lot of things. So don't be that person. Get it done. Now, the nice thing is, the next question is, oh, crap, I need to get it. At the National Association of Realtors website, you can actually take the class for free. So it's an online class. You can take it for free. You can get it done. Just please, please, please get it done. With that, what I'm going to be going over today is some more fun. Section 8.0 of the National Association of Realtors MLS rules and regs, also known as Clear Cooperation Policy. Everybody has what's called coming soon listings or pocket listings, or whatever you want to call them. They have become a problem. And I think the National Association of Realtors, this is a personal opinion, really did a misstep in how they handled this situation. The reason I say that is they made it almost easier to have pocket listings than to not. So I want to go over the Texas Realtors just came out with a great little clear cooperation policy question and answer session. What does clear cooperation policy say? Policy states that within 1 business day of marketing a property to the public, listing broker must submit the listing to the MLS for cooperation with other MLS participants. Business days include Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. So the nice thing is, I want everybody to understand the timelines of this. So you can start advertising a property on Friday, and you don't have to put it in the multiple listing service until Monday. You have 1 business day to get it done. Now, right now, next week is a perfect example of making this even crazier. You can start advertising a property on Wednesday and have till Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that following Monday to put it in a multiple listing service, because that next business day is that Monday. It's not 24 hours. We had a misnomer, and we kept saying 24 hours instead of business day when this first went into effect. I don't know if you had that same problem, Ken.
Yeah, we did.
Where we said 24 hours. It's business day. So that's really nice. So if you know you're going to put it on Friday and you don't want it in the MLS for a couple of days, you can put a sign on Friday. You can start advertising it. And as long as it's in the multiple listing service by Monday, you will have completed your requirements for the National Association of Realtors and Clear Cooperation Policy. What I don't like at all about clear cooperation policy is the public marketing aspect. Public marketing means anytime the listing information is provided outside the listing brokerage. It can include filters displayed in windows, yard signs, digital marketing on public-facing websites, brokerage website displays, digital marketing email, or multi-brokerage listing sharing networks. What this has done is given a true unfair advantage to large brokerages. Right. We'll take EXP example. There's 1 broker for the entire EXP of New Mexico. So from what I see, that means is an agent can discuss a new listing an upcoming listing to any EXP agent throughout the state of New Mexico and not violate this requirement.
That's the way it's written.
You take that. You take Las Cruces, for example. We have an office called Steinborn, been around for a long time, just a mega brokerage, lots and lots of agents, the largest company in town. They're allowed to do in-house conversations about listings without violating this rule. Right. And you sit there and say, oh, well, the whole point of this was to make it fair, and it almost makes it unfair for the smaller companies. If you got an office of 2 or 3 agents, you're not going to have as much opportunity to hear about these new upcoming listings as if you had an office of 200, 300 agents. So that's my issue with the clear cooperation policy. I made that case to the NAR directors when they were going to the meeting 2 years ago, but unfortunately, it passed. I see some things coming and changing. Now, the problem is almost every real estate MLS out there put in some very harsh rules that if you violate this, I've seen anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000 to $10,000 fines. They're taking it very seriously. I know the Las Cruces Association has had multiple $1,000 fines over this issue. And I think it's a little ridiculous. I mean, if you lose your entire commission because your client talked about their own home, it's a little weird situation. Can seller listing a broker opt out of the policy's obligations? No. So if your client, and they actually had to change the listing agreement for this, and we talked about this when we went over listing agreements a little bit, where if your client says, I don't want to sign in the yard, but then your client goes and puts a Facebook post, say, hey, I'm selling this house, you are now required to put it in the multiple listing service within 24 hours, or within 1 business day, excuse me. There I go, breaking my own rule again. Does clear cooperation policy prohibit office exclusives? And again, this is where I was talking about the issue with the large brokerages having a lot more opportunities than the smaller brokerages. Direct promotion of the listing between license holders affiliated with the sponsoring broker, and one promotion between these license holders and their clients is not considered public marketing. So it gives a true advantage to the larger brokerages, and I have a big issue with that personally, because it goes against everything we're wanting. If an MLS has established a coming soon status that shares listing data with MLS participants, does that comply with cooperation requirements of the policy? Yes. Listings that the property is coming soon will comply with the clear cooperation policy. Be sure to check that your MLS has such a status. So as long as you have a coming soon option in your multiple listing service, I know El Paso does, I know Las Cruces does. Does the ones you use can't have one as well?
Yes, absolutely.
So the thing is, you can put a sign in the yard. You can start advertising it coming soon all day long as you have placed it in the coming soon. Now, the whole point of clear cooperation, there's a reason for it. And I want to make sure everybody understands this. There's nothing worse as an agent for your client to say, hey, I'm interested in this house on blank, and it's not in the MLS. You can't find anything about it. There's a sign in the yard. It makes you look like a moron. And I think that's the frustration that they're trying to prevent. The problem is, you need to make sure you go to the coming soon section to see if it's in the coming soon section as well. If it's not, it is in violation of this, and it is $1,000 fine or more, depending on what association you're a part of.
Can I give my opinion right there?
Please do.
Okay, so here's my opinion. In the market we're in today, coming soon is just the stupidest thing you could ever do. There's no reason for it. You're going to put the sign in the yard. You're going to get multiple offers within the first 48 hours of getting in there. Coming soon, all coming soon does is make somebody walk up and knock on the door and bother your seller and say, "Can I come in and see your house before everybody else?" Yeah, that's all it does. It and I get it. I understand why people do it. I understand why the client asked for it. But I'm just telling you, it doesn't help in this market at all.
This market's crazy.
It's huge.
This market, if you price it right, it's going to sell extremely quickly.
Absolutely.
I put a listing on the market at Monday at about 5:10. Yeah. By 5:15, I already had 3 showing requests and showing time. I had 5 offers. The lowest offer, 10,000 over asking. That's the market we're in. Right. And it's the best of times, worst of times market, and I understand that. And to sit there and say how great the market is, if you represent buyers, it's hard right now. It's really hard to work with buyers, to get them a home, to get them in what they want to be in. Yeah. One of my agents was just telling me he put an offer in for one of his clients, 40,000 over asking, guaranteeing 20,000 over appraisal, and they still not sure if they're going to get the property. Yeah, it's a weird market.
But you roll it back to this coming soon thing. So how do you keep yourself out of trouble, right? Because that's one of the things. And if there's no need for it, then why are we putting ourselves in a position where we could potentially have ourselves in trouble?
The goal, I think people are trying to capitalize on as many buyers as possible and sell themselves.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with that. And
I mean, let's be honest, that's what it is.
A small community. We're going to do this for the rest of our lives, and we want to make sure that everybody understands that we're the right person to do business with.
And you and I've harped on this for as many classes as we've had. Relationships is huge in this business. Your word, your ability to work with people is huge in this business. There's nothing I hate more than calling agents and saying we didn't take your offer, because it always creates that self-doubt. Oh, why did you do this? Why did you do that? You should have called me. You should have given me an opportunity. Did you sell it yourself? There's always that doubt someone has in there saying, hey, what you're doing, you did this underhanded because we didn't get it. And I understand that frustration. The problem is only one person can buy a house.
Right.
And that means if I've got 5 offers, 4 people are going to lose.
Right.
And I don't decide what my seller takes. A seller can choose not the highest offer for another reason. A seller can choose they want to go this way or that way. A seller can say, I don't want to do counter offer any of these offers. I don't want to do biggest and best. I'm happy with what I got. I'm moving forward. And a lot of times agents get frustrated and say, well, you should have countered. I don't have to counter. It's not my decision. It's my client's decision.
Correct.
This is a huge one, guys. Can a broker list property in MLS is coming soon without a listing agreement? Absolutely not. What gives us the right to put the sign in the yard is the listing agreement. If you are advertising a property that you don't have a listing agreement, you are violating the Licensing Act. So don't do that.
Right there too. And I've seen this, and it's mostly new agents that don't understand. They get their brand new signs, and guess what they do? They stick it in their own front yard. Okay, guys, you cannot do that. If you're not going to list and sell your house, if you want to get a billboard, get a billboard. You cannot stick a for sale sign in your front yard without a listing agreement. It violates the rules.
Well, that's funny.
Hey, I called on one the other day. There was one right down the street from me. I'm like, wow, because I thought about buying it for an investment house, right? I'm like, what do you mean it's your house? You can't put that sign in your front yard.
Can a listing broker show a coming soon home to an agent but not others? Yes. If the seller directs the listing broker to allow the showing, otherwise a property listed as coming soon should not be open to showings. This is where I think the National Association of Realtors is going to get in a lot of hot water, and it's going to tread on some dangerous roads. When we start telling a seller how to sell their home, what they can and can't do, that's not our role. And I think Section 8.0 does a very dangerous job of trying to restrict the seller's options and what the seller can and can't do. And I think we're going to get ourselves in trouble if we don't fix this soon. Trying to restrict a seller from selling their home however they see fit has their right. Now, the issue is this also gives you great opportunities for violations of fair housing. Because if your seller says yes to this person and not to another person, why did they say no to that other person? It's because of my race, nationality, sexual orientation, whatever it is, and you can set yourself up some situations. So if you're going to show it coming soon to one, make sure you recommend to your seller. If we're going to do it to one, we're going to do it to all. Again, I agree with you, Kent, 100%. I know Brian is a fan of the coming soons. He uses them quite often. But I'm just not a fan of them personally for the same reason that you talked about.
Yeah.
Can a coming soon property go under contract before going active in the MLS? Yes. If the sellers wish to sell the property before the listing goes active, it is their right to do so. Trying to tell a seller they're not allowed to sell their home, that's not our role as an association. And we got to be very careful about trying to tell someone, hey, you can't sell your house. It's like, I can do whatever the hell I want. This is America. Yeah. And that's where I think we see a lot of issues. Huh?
And it's my house.
Yeah. and so that's where, I mean, and you see it. And then that's where, they're frustrated. I was talking to an agent yesterday, and she's like, with Section 8.0 going into effect, it's amazing how many more in-house office deals we have than we used to because when this happened. And I think that's where the danger is going to come into play.
Yep.
Is the smaller brokerages are going to get really fed up really quickly with not having the advantage of their clients to see what's coming available.
Yep.
So that's all I wanted to go over on Section 8.0 today, guys. I think it's really interesting. I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there, a lot of misunderstanding of what they can and can't do. Remember, at the end of the day, who's in charge? It's not us.
Yeah.
We work for our clients. Our clients make the decision. I can tell a client all day long, I recommend this listing, I recommend this price, I recommend this timeline, I recommend. But at the end of the day, the decision is theirs. I can come in and say, hey, I think this is a great offer. You should accept it. A counter for $40,000. That's insane, but okay, you're the boss. When you get an offer over asking and want a counter, that's weird. It's a weird conversation to have. So that's something we got to think about and know about. But remember, and the problem is too often we get emotional, and we can't get emotional in this business. And I am the choir preaching right now. I get very emotional in this business a lot. I'm fighting for my clients at all times. I want to make sure they're taken care of. But we've got to remember, this is business. We've got to treat it as business. No one's out to kill us. No one's out to murder us. No one's trying to cheat us. Some people might be. But at the end of the day, you did not get it because you're not liked. There's multiple offers. We got to do what's going to be best for our client. And it's at the end of the day, it's our client's decision, not mine. Yeah. We can give recommendations all the time. I say, well, you should have done this. It's like my client was happy with the offer they got. Well, that's not fair. And let me tell you guys right now, if you represent a buyer, if you are not giving your biggest and best offer out the door, you are foolish. If you think we are in a world of counter offers, we're not. If you're not out the door with your biggest and best offer, you're wasting everybody's time, especially your clients, and you're getting their hopes up for nothing.
Well, you got to think about this too. You think about where it is on the seller. Everybody think, oh, multiple offers, that's a great thing. Okay, I'm going to walk in with 13 offers. Right? My seller does not understand that contract. Does not understand there's 32 places in there that money can be made and lost. Right? They don't understand that. Right? So they're looking at the bottom line. What did you offer me for the house? That doesn't mean that's what they're going to get. So we now have 13 offers that we have to go through to decide which one we're going to pick, right? And which one makes the most sense for them as a seller, right? So it's stressful, man, and I know when I sold my last house, I was so done in making the bed and cleaning it up so people come look at it, I couldn't see straight. I was like, I'm taking that one. I'm done. Right. Yeah. And people are like that,
Well, and
it's about it's not about how much, and the world's worst thing you can do as a buying agent is come in there and offer me $40,000 over and expect me to deal with you when the appraisal comes in, because I listed the house for what it was worth. Right. I said this house is 300,000. You offered me 340. It appraises for 300,000. You better find that 40 grand. Yeah, that's the way that is.
well, it is. I mean, it is. But I mean, to sit there. I mean, I've heard rumors of 99 offers on a house.
Oh,
They're not playing the counter offer game or biggest and best offer game on 99 offers, because one of those is going to be out of the park. So, I mean, if you represent a buyer right now, you need to go in there with the understanding we are biggest and best in this offer all day long. Because so why didn't you give me a chance to counter? Counter what? It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't have time to sit here and play this game with you when I've got 47 people trying to walk in the door, and it's like, okay, it's been a week. We need to get this done. Pick one of these offers of all these that you have to choose from.
Well, and one of the tactics that we always do is we always bring a listing up on a Thursday, right? Especially right now, we put the listing up on Thursday. We tell our seller, go to the hotel, be ready to come back Sunday, right? Because you're not going to be able to be at your house for the next 4 days. It's so many people are going to be, there's nowhere for you to be. So just go to the hotel. And then on Sunday, we'll sit down and we'll go over these offers that came in, and we'll sell your house, and we'll be done Monday. Right. And that's just, I mean, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's just in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, that's the way it is. Yeah. And it makes the most sense in the world to allow those people to we're trying to take pressure off of everybody. Right. And that's where I'm going to go back to fold this back into the coming soon thing. Is coming soon in your market the right thing for your seller? It may be. I don't know. In my market, I'm telling you right now, it is not. Right? It makes no sense. There's no reason for it. Now, a year from now, there may be, but today there's not. Right? So why put everybody in that position when there's no need for it?
Good point. That's what I've got, guys. Now, Kent's got the start of a 3-parter series we're going to be going over today.
All right, guys. So we're going to start our 3-part series on business plan. This is my favorite time of the year. We all get to get excited about what's in the future and how we're going to move forward as a real estate agent. Right. And so one of the things I found that, over years and years and years of helping real estate agents try to move forward is most of them never put a plan together. Right. Yeah. I was talking to an agent this morning, and I said, look, you have to know what you're going to do every day, all day. That's why you have to have a plan, right? So you got to wake up with intention, and you got to know why. But if you don't have a plan and you haven't put it together, you're not going to do that. 97% of all real estate agents in the United States wake up, go open their email, and let their email dictate their day. Okay, you can't do that. That is not the way you run a business, right? So we have got to come in here and put together something that makes sense, so that your business moves forward and that you can be a very profitable piece of this real estate industry that we talked about today. So there's 3 parts to this. Okay. We're going to go over today. We're going to go over time. Time is the number one thing we got to take care of, right? Once we know what we're going to do with our time, then we can figure out the rest of it, right? And then next week, we won't be here next week because it's Thanksgiving and me and Andrew are eating turkey. But the following week, we will go over goals. What are our goals and how do we get there? And then the third week, we'll go over activities to help us achieve those goals within our time frames. Okay. So that's kind of where we're headed with this. So I want to start out with time. So basically time is something that you have to make a decision about. So what I do and what I've done for years and what I've helped agents do for years is that we take care of all the big stuff first. What's the big stuff? So I like to do it, and you can do it however you want. I know most of y'all are way more computer savvy and technical savvy than I am, but guys, I get a planner. I get a planner every year. Okay, this is my new one, 2022. You can see right there, somewhere right there. All right. And you can go buy one at Walmart. You can go buy one anywhere. You can go. Most of your title companies have them to give away because they like to have their little logo on them to give them out. I mean, you can get a planner anywhere. They're very inexpensive, right? But I start out right with the big stuff. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'd like to. I will go all out. This comes from Buffini and Company, but you can get them anywhere. This is a quarterly guide. It just lets me write the big stuff down, and then I can go back and add it into the planner. Right. So when I say the big stuff, what am I talking about? Big stuff number one is life activities within your family. Right. There's things that are going to go on within your family. Right. If you know somebody in your family is getting married, okay, and we have that date picked, by God, you need to put that in your calendar and make sure nothing interferes with that. Right. Yeah. That's just one of those things that you have to do. Right. You put it in there. Make sure that you put the big stuff in. There's going to be wedding. There's going to be birthday. Your wife's birthday, your kid's birthday, your grandbaby's birthday, whatever. Right. You need to put that stuff in your planner so it's locked in, so that you don't make that stupid mistake that most of us make. And I did it again. I've been doing this for years, and I did it again this week. Somebody called me and said, "Can you talk at this time?" And I said yes. And I'm like, "Oh crap, I got 4 other things to do at that time." And I said yes. Right. Why? Because I didn't go look at my stinking calendar when I should have. Right. Before I said yes. So I got to get that stuff locked in. Right. I'll never forget. I actually lost an agent one time over the fact that they made the phone call to me at 7:00 at night on one of my daughter's birthdays. I had 35 people in my house, and they didn't understand why I couldn't just stop and talk to them. Right? It's like, come on, man. This is locked in. This is what I do. If you don't like it, I get it. I'm sorry, but it's locked in. So you got to get that big stuff put in the calendar first. That's the number one thing you do. Go through every month, 12 months, lock in all the big stuff. Weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, the things that you as a family member cannot let go by, and because there's all it'll do is hurt your life. Right. So let's make sure we get those in. All right. The second thing that I lock in is my trainings. Right. I'm going to go to 4 major trainings a year. Okay. I'm going to go to a convention. I'm going to go to something that is with the Association of Realtors. Right. I'm a Buffini guy, so I'm going to Mastermind every year. Right. Right. And then I'm going to find something local to go to. Right. Those things, they're already printed. They already know the dates of them. They already know when they are. Go put them in your calendar. Right. Get them locked in, get them down, make sure they're there so that you're not planning stuff over the top of them. Right. If you'll do that, your life is going to be so much simpler. Right. I mean, here's what I tell you. If you want to get busy as a real estate agent, plan a vacation. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the simplest thing in the world. Right. Right. So I've got my life events, number one. Second thing I got is my major training. Okay. And if you're not going to trainings outside of your office, guys, I'm telling you right now, you're making the biggest mistake in your life. Right. Andrew and I both, we go to trainings on a regular basis. I mean,
absolutely.
And we got them locked in. We know what they are. We know when we're going, and it's a thing that there's no question whether or not we're going to be there. Right. And Andrew's on every board in the freaking world. So I know he's got to get that locked in, because if he doesn't, I mean, then why be on the board? Right. You got to be ready to go do this stuff. So you got to lock that kind of stuff in first. Right. All right. So I got my weddings. I got my weddings, life events, things like that. I've got all my training locked in. That's done. That's in there. It's in place. So now what I do next is I put in my vacations. Right. Right. So here's if you want to really, 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 really get yourself in trouble as a real estate agent, call your wife up and say, "Oh, by the way, I got a closing coming up on Friday. Now I know we were supposed to leave on that cruise, but I'm gonna have to push it back a day." Well, you can't push a cruise back a day, guys. It doesn't work like that, right? Put the freaking thing in your calendar, make it set that that's what you're gonna do, and don't waver from it, right? There's always somebody around to help. Everyone, if you're not the broker, you have a broker, right? And if it's really that big a deal that somebody needs to be there, pick the phone up, call your broker, say, I need you to sit in for 20 minutes on a closing for me. If they can't, they'll figure out how to help you. I mean, that's their job, right? So come on. So get those vacations put in place, right? So now we got major events, right? We got our trainings, right? And then we got our vacations, right? Now, our calendar, you're looking at your calendar and there's going to be all this white space in there, right? So the next thing we got to do is go down there and start breaking things down quarterly, right? What are we going to do quarterly to promote ourselves to our clients? So I personally, and this is, you don't have to do this, but this is how I plan my months or my quarters out, is once a quarter, we do something to appreciate our clients, right? We have some kind of event where we appreciate our clients. Like coming up Monday, which is the Monday before Thanksgiving, we do what we call Pie Day. Okay. So all of our active people that have bought or sold with us in the last, couple of years, we buy them a pumpkin pie and have them come to our office, and we have a little party and everybody gets to take home a pumpkin pie. Right. So that's our client appreciation party we'll do. We'll give away a couple hundred pies this year. Right. Maybe not quite that many, but close. So it's going to be one of those days where I got to have that on my calendar. There's no getting around it. That's what we do. Okay. It's locked in. So every quarter we do something like that. 4th of July, every 4th of July, we have a party at our office. There's a big fireworks show that you can see perfectly from the parking lot in our office. That's locked in. That's set up. It's July 3rd is every year. That's on my calendar. Okay. It's locked in for 2 reasons. 1, I don't want to schedule something over it. And 2, I got to promote it. If I don't have it on there, I don't know how to promote. They don't just show up because I said I was going to do it. I got to promote. So it's got to be in my calendar. Right. So this is all part of my business planning session. So once I get all this stuff in, then I can go back and look at it and say, okay, what do I have to do to promote that event to make sure that people turn out so that I can get a referral from them to get that next deal. Right. That's how this thing works. So you got to go in and break it down quarterly and go, okay, what am I going to do quarterly to help enhance my business with my past clients? All right. So that goes on the calendar. Right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and there's monthly things that I have to do, right? I mean, there's certain things that we have to do every month. I got to get my taxes put together and make sure I get them to my CPA so I don't get in trouble there. There's the little things that from a business standpoint, I got to get all my mailings out to make sure that everybody knows that I'm still in real estate. I'm not trying to be a secret agent, right? So I go out there and I make sure that I get all my mailings in place and they're gone out on time. Okay. That's in my calendar. That's locked in. That's not something I try to fit in. That is the most important thing of my month, is to make sure that I get that mailing out so that I can go through the whole system and talk to people. Right. If it's not locked in my calendar, it's not going to happen. Right. So it's scheduled in from the very first of the year. Right. I don't do it that day or that week. If you ever see my calendar, and I think Brian does the same thing, is, at the very first of the morning, I had about 15 minutes in there. I sit and just plan my day out to make sure I haven't missed something. Right. But that's really the time where I go look at my calendar and make sure that I'm doing the things that I've already got locked in, and then see what I can add to it to make it enhance that day. Right. So you got to do that. Right. So get it planned out, get all the monthly stuff in there. Right. Right. Then now's the time we go back and we look at, okay, when do I really get to go out and show people real estate? And one of the things I'm a believer of is that you schedule showings and you schedule listing appointments as a block out in your schedule. Okay. So if I'm going to do a listing appointment or I'm going to go show a house, I can tell you I've got time in there. Right. So Andrew picks the phone up. He sees a sign. He calls and says, hey, 123 Main Street's for sale. I need to see that house. Right. And I'm like, hey, that's great. I'd love to show you that house. I open my calendar and I say, I have some time at 11:30 today or 1 o'clock tomorrow. Which one's best for you? I don't say, I'll be in the car and be there in 30 seconds. I can't do that. Right. because I'm running a business, right? But I can say, oh, here's my open time. I can do it at 11:30 or I can do it at 1 tomorrow. Which one's better for you? Right. So now because it's in my calendar and blocked out, I can do that. Right. So working your time, guys, is the number one thing. We can't set goals. We can't set activities until we know when we're available to go do them. Right. Now, what happens is, if you don't do it this way, or you don't do something that utilizes that time, is you'll wake up and it'll be, you wake up Monday morning and think, man, I need to list to sell some real estate. And then you look up Wednesday and go, I didn't even talk to anybody. Yeah. Well, guess what? You ain't gonna sell no real estate that way. Yeah. And that probably wasn't very good grammar, but that's the facts, right? It's just,
it makes people think about what you're saying when you say it wrong.
Thank you, buddy. But I mean, the bottom line is, if it's not planned out, you're not going to do it. Right. It's just not going to, we're human. Right. I mean, I remember when I first started trying to work from home, it was like horrible for me, because it's like every shiny object that flew by, I chased around, ooh, yeah. ESPN's doing a special on whatever, I'll come back after that's over. You can't do that, guys. You got to get that calendar put together. So get you something to work with, get it put down, get it written down. So here's what we're going to do this Sunday, right? So after the Cowboys, or actually we'll do it before because we're playing the late game. Before the Cowboys beat the crap out of the Chiefs, we're going to go in there. Stacy and I are going to sit down and we're going to lay out the big things. We're going to lay the big things out. That'll take us about 30 minutes to an hour to between the two of us to lay out all the big things, get them in a calendar, right? And then we'll schedule another time, sometime during the time we're off over Thanksgiving, to sit down, take another hour, and knock out all the convention, all that kind of stuff she's got to do, stuff I've got to do, and we'll get all that on the calendar, right? We're going to have this all done way before January 1st, right? I don't want you stressing out and thinking about, oh my God, it's January, because by then I'm 30 days behind on my marketing if I wait till January 1st to do it, right? The things we do today are going to give us and pay us, 60 to 90 days from what we do today, right? That's the way this thing works. So I got to be ahead of the game. So it's time to start now. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of step away from it and say, look, guys, time is everything. Time is is the most valuable asset that we have as real estate agents, right? And so make sure that you're taking advantage of it and you're not letting it kill you, right? And one of the things, and I know this is a little off subject, but it's a dialogue, and hopefully Andrew and I will talk about it. I want to do a dialogue class with you guys someday, but here was a simple dialogue. Andrew picks the phone up and calls me and says, Kent, I'm looking for a real estate agent. I say, hey, great, man. I would love to be your guy. I'm looking forward to working with you. Let me explain to you how I work. Okay. And most of you are scared to death to make that statement. You're scared to death to say, let me tell you how I work. Okay. And I'm telling you this, if you will learn this and understand it and get good at it and stick to it, it will change your life. It will change your life with your family and everybody else. So here's the dialogue is that, Andrew, I appreciate it. I'd love to work with you. Here's how I work. I work Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Right? I work Saturday from 10 to 2, and I do not work on Sunday. Is that something you feel like you can work with? Okay. I've never in 20, 15, 18 years now had anybody say, oh, no, I can't do that. Right? Now, there's an occasion when I get somebody in from out of town or a relo or something, that's coming in that I might have to take a Sunday and go show something. But when I say that, guess who doesn't call me during the middle of the Cowboy game?
Well, you're setting expectations.
Absolutely. Right. So I plan my life. I've planned my schedule. I've done it. I've told my client when I'm available. Right. And now I actually have a life. Right. I don't, now, and I get it's a crazy market and all that stuff. And some goofy real estate agent will list a house on Sunday morning. I think there should be a law against that, but whatever. I don't get to control that, but the reality of it is that in 90% or higher, if you'll just learn that dialogue, hey, look, and your time can be your time. That was just specifically my time. My time was 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Saturday, and I didn't work on Sunday. Right now, your time might be something different. You may be 10 to 3. Whatever it is. But you got to figure out what it is and set that expectation, right? And that's all part of this business planning thing. Because if you know when you're going to work, then that's when you go to work. There's nothing that drives me more insane than my family members going, "Oh, can you run and do this for me?" I'm like, it's 2:00 on Thursday. I'm working. They don't see you as somebody that has a steady time frame that you work, right?
Yeah.
But once you establish this way, and you go, "Sorry, Mom, here's my calendar. You see, I'm working right now." Eventually they get it. So that's me on time. We're going to work on it. We'll work on goals next week that we apply into the time. So hopefully all of you will take the time in the next week to find you a little calendar and at least lay out the big stuff. Right? Get the big stuff laid out. We'll work through the rest of it.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Kent. And remember, guys, next week, Thanksgiving, we're not going to be on, but we'll see you guys the following.
Yep. All right. Y'all have a good Thanksgiving.
You as well. All right.